Welcome back to episode 2 of Tejano Talks. Today, we have a somewhat different cast of people that are joining us. And again, the whole idea is to get people from the alumni group from Eagle Pass High School's audio video crew, current seniors as well, and a few juniors and sophomores to kind of have a discussion over Tejano culture through the first, well, actually now we're on episode 3 and 4 of the Selena series on Netflix. We're having a great time doing it. I'm going to go ahead and let the guys introduce themselves. Go for it.
My name is Eric Martinez. I am currently 20 years old. I am soon to be sophomore here at Southwest Texas Junior College, and hopefully I'll be leaving San Antonio this fall.
Awesome. Diego. Make sure
I'm Diego Chapa. I'm 16. I think I'm in 10th grade. Am I in 10th grade? I think I'm in 10th grade. I'm looking over here because that's where my monitor is, and the camera is over here. So I am looking at you guys. Right? also, I thought we were gonna watch it right now with everybody else, so I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the Selena.
No worries. I got the quotes. You'll be fine. All right, Frankie.
My name is Frank Rodriguez. I'm a junior and I'm 16 years old.
Awesome. And Kayla.
Hi, my name is Kayla Alvarez. I'm 19 years old. I go to Southwest Texas Junior College in Eagle Pass, Texas, and I'm hoping to transfer to Texas State in the fall.
Yay! That's my alma mater. I love Texas State. It's fantastic. Okay, buddy.
Hi, my name is Larissa Valdez. I'm 17 and I'm a senior at Eagle Pass High School.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. So I'll get the conversation started here. It's okay. So La Reina Laura Canales is okay. They're nominated. Oh, by the way, just a quick shout out to last episode. I did not know this, but Eagle Pass hosted the wedding to Johnny Canales and his wife, who apparently was from this region. So they got married in the Texas ballroom. I had no clue about that, but found out because of Eliazar Perez. He has real deep roots in the Tejano culture and the Conjunto culture. So their song, the episode starts off with their song and album being nominated for Song of the Year and the Album of the Year. The song was Dame un Beso. And let's see. Oh, what did y'all think about them doing everything on their own? They did the fashion, they did the hair, they did the makeup, they did the sewing. Can any of y'all relate to that or have any experiences with family being able to have those skills?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that they were able to do that because there's nowadays everything's so you can get everything. You can get everything you want online. You can go to the store, and sometimes they have things on clearance. This stuff you can get so easy. And I think it was amazing that they were able to do that at that time.
Yeah.
Kind of take control of what they were doing.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just a consumer, a reflection of whatever a corporate entity already thought we should be wearing. But these guys, I mean, they were designing it. I love that they had a little design journal. They were sketching things out. They were doing their hair. They were doing their clothes. And they were all in it together. Susette, the sister, I mean, talk about wearing many hats, and both metaphorically speaking and literally, they wore a lot of hats, right? And they were doing the perms. They were doing the makeup, and they loved hanging out and doing it with one another. I thought that was really nice to see that social cohesion. Let's see here. They did it. Okay. Selena and Los Dinos are trying to attend Johnny Canales' show at Matamoros, and they're being promised 2,000 people would show up right in the middle of the square. And so you get there's always a question of money in the show from the beginning up until now. It's like, oh, well, now we need bigger amps because they're not going to provide them for us. They're hosting the event. Johnny Canales is promising we will have cameras. We will have the people. You got to bring the equipment. And so up until now, I've seen Mr. Abraham, the father of Selena, kind of like constantly battle questions of money to be competitive. What do you think as far as the music scene or the any kind of artistic endeavor in Eagle Pass as mariachi groups or anything else? Do you find that money is always like at the ground of things that are kind of challenging on as far as allowing you to be creative, or do you think it helps people be more creative in doing both, finding ways to be financially relevant, but also creating stuff out there? What do you all think about that?
I think financially, from a business standpoint, everything is going to cost you something. You know, if you go to the hospital, you got to pay. If you go here, you got to pay. If you do this, if you breathe, you got to pay. That's America, right? So, but I think there's certain aspects of it that are very beneficial. So growing up, these were teenagers. Selena was only 16. She was only 15. She was 10. You know, growing up into this lifestyle of business and music, I think it's so important because one day she's going to look back. She's like, what 10-year-old had to worry about, you know, a finance, like an amp? How much we're going to have for an amp? How much do I need for this? How much are we going to get from a gig? In 20 years, is this label going to provide me with a good mortgage? What teenager is thinking about that? So I think that the fact that they showed how responsible these teenagers were from a young age could inspire other teenagers to really look at themselves and be like, am I financially responsible? Am I going to make it out there? And what do I have to do to be like to reach the success I want to reach?
Now, I want to throw this little screw in that because in the system, because I love that answer, and I want to ask about today's day and age, because this was late 80s, early 90s. In the episode, Suzette is afraid because AB goes out and purchases a automatic programmable drum. And then Suzette's kind of concerns like, oh, what does that do for me? It automates my contribution to the band. You know, we see that with Walmart being replacing people with pretty much machines and having us man the machines. But so she's concerned. They all want to be relevant. But now the question is, and I'll put this for either Frank or Diego, how do y'all find it amazing or kind of neat that everyone puts aside their needs at this point for the family greater good? AB wants to date somewhere in the beginning of this episode, but the dad's like, no, we can't date yet. It's because it'll ruin the mystique of the band. You know, Selena wants to go out and have fun, but she can't because they're working. You know, they're constant. It was not easy. Like what we see as a people is the final result, but it was not easy. And yet somehow the whole family is together. It's one like super organism of a thing. The business, the artistic, the everything, the makeup, the clothing. What do y'all think about that, Diego or Frankie? How do you see, are people like that, like families that tight for the same common goal? Or do you see it kind of fragmenting, like everyone does their own thing, and you know, it's a very individualistic type of society now? What do y'all think?
Based on my own family, I'd say it's a former. It's a former. And I don't think families like are really tight.
Oh,
a lot of them do their own things every day, and we aren't as tight as the show would say.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing. I think that's kind of contributed to that is even me. I saw the episode on my phone, like by myself, in my room, just like this, right? It used to be that there was one TV, if we were lucky, in the house, and it used to be that movies were not so easily accessible. Everyone had to go and share that experience. Little by little, as time has been progressing, we're all kind of being fragmented and being torn away from one another. I think it's a thing. It's a symptom of modern living, and I think we have to work really, really hard. I'm not saying everyone has to go and start a band or nothing like that, right? But there are certain things that are nice of seeing them be that tight and care about one another and be able to sacrifice in tiny little ways for people that they care about. You know what I mean? I think that was a really beautiful thing, and it's hard to do. It takes work. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Hold on, let me just keep it. So Selena wants to perform a song by Jody Watley, but Mr. Abraham says he doesn't want to do that. Selena says, hey, but I'm Tejano. You want me to only be half of who I am. I think that quote, and I'll say it again, you want me to be only half of who I am, it says, and then Abraham says, no, the audience I'm talking about the audience, them. They're not Mexican American, they are Mexican. They don't listen to that music, Jody Watley. Selena says, well, maybe because they've never seen it, especially from me. What if they love it? That could be a whole different market for us. So as a culture, we're hybrid. We're Mexican and American. We're Tejano. We're not just American. We're not just Mexican. I think we're always in this weird battle, because if you go further up north, it's like they might not consider you as American, let's say. Maybe not. But if you go further down south and go to Mexico, they don't consider you as Mexican either, right? Little spoiled brat over there, What are your experiences in that? And how do you kind of find a way to find your voice? Is it important to be Mexican American? Do you choose a side, or do you do something in the middle? Eric and Kayla, what are your college experiences like, or life after high school?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just more, being yourself, being who you are. I mean, because you can be Mexican American and be raised only speaking English, or be Mexican American living in America and only know how to speak Spanish,
That's
so
true.
Yes. I think there's a lot. It's just about, being you, being, what especially language-wise, what you know. Like me, I'm still learning to speak Spanish. I mean, growing up, I didn't speak any Spanish because my parents didn't speak any Spanish in the house. My mom didn't know how to speak Spanish. My dad did, so I was never raised speaking Spanish. It wasn't until I moved here that I started hearing Spanish, and now I'm barely starting to learn Spanish. I mean, I can hold a conversation, but I can't talk for a long time.
Is that true for both of you guys? Like language, Spanish was not spoken that much?
Yes.
So y'all relate more to like Selena.
Yeah, it's the same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a battle.
Yeah, I relate exactly to her.
That's so crazy. And do you...
Yeah, like...
Are you wanting to learn Spanish? Do you see the benefit, or do you feel like, oh, that's another part of me I didn't know, but I would like to get to know? Or I don't know. What are your feelings now?
Yes, I do want to learn, because I feel like it's very important to connect to people like of my own culture who do speak the language. And, I feel like it's, I don't know, like not like a bad thing, but just not like really good for me not to know Spanish, because I am from that, that's like my race or whatever. Yeah. So
the way I look at it is the way that these guys are looking at it. They're trying to expand their market, both for themselves speaking Spanish songs, and then also as they go over here, they're trying to sing English songs to the Spanish speakers. And the way I look at it is like, hey, we want to make more friends, and I want to know more about myself. It's not that one side is good and one side is bad. It's just trying to develop a better understanding of who we are and how we connect with one another.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me keep it going here. Suzette feels nervous and unworthy. Selena says, hey, I heard AB and Ricky having one of those dumb conversations that guys have about the Beatles, and if Ringo was a good drummer or not. And then she's like, so yeah, maybe he wasn't the best drummer. So he's referring to she's referring to her sister for the Rolling Stones or whoever, but he was a perfect drummer for the Beatles. There is no Beatles without Ringo, and there is no Selena without Suzette. Remember, you are the heart. That was a quote, callback to episode 1. Lottie or Frank, as you guys gotten older, I seen my own children make friends before COVID very easily in a McDonald's playground, very easily in any playground, in any park. It used to be one of the easiest things we could do. I feel as y'all have gotten older, making friends has gotten harder, but maintaining a good friendship like that, where they look at you and they try to build you up and they want to connect and they want to feel still like they're connected to you. I feel that's gotten harder as time's progressed, but I might be totally uninformed. Maybe y'all have really tight relationships via online gaming or other things that my generation doesn't understand. So could you enlighten me? What do you feel? And of course, no judgment. It's this is all just to understand one another. Are people that tight to care about one another, or are we just totally atomized and separate?
I definitely think there's a big separation these days, because everyone, you can text someone and be their friend for like years and you never have to see them. So I do believe it's easier because I'm a very outgoing social person, so I have a lot of acquaintances. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people, know me by name, but like we don't know each other. Like they don't know what's my favorite color, they don't know my middle name. And I've only had 3 very close friends my whole life. So in today's day and age, I think that's a very rare thing to have people that you can relate to on, a cultural sense or growing up. A lot of people move, a lot of people grow, a lot of people have friends here and there for like a year, for 3 years, and they move on to the next friend and then move on to the next friend. So I think today we should really appreciate having long-term friends because like they just don't exist as much as they used to.
Right. I want to, and this is a question now is directed to you, Frankie. I feel when I was growing up, there was a lot of downtime. And it's not a judgment, oh, this generation, that generation. No, there were not that many things to do. It's more on us, right? But we were forced to be around one another outside or inside, and there was nothing to do. So you literally had to have a tolerance for being with people, whether you had something to say or not. And I feel that today, a lot of people are rushed. Everyone feels like there's always somewhere to go. There's something to do. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And in that rushed, and maybe even I gotta be happy. I gotta be happy. I gotta be happy. You're so busy trying to be happy that you end up not allowing yourself just to be with someone. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is there a rush? Or is it too competitive? Or are friendships too transactional now? I feel we need to transcend transaction and just kind of learn to hang out with each other just for the sake of it. What do you feel about that, Frankie? Is that too much, or I don't know?
What do you mean by transaction?
Transaction is I'm going to be your friend because I know you can give me a ride to school. But then
there's a lot of
I'm going to be your friend.
yeah, there's a lot of friendships like that now.
And
Only if you benefit from something, like they'll want to be your friend or something, like because they want something out of it.
Yeah, and what I want to do, look at you guys, really, look at you. You're not gaining anything from this. There's no extra credit. I'm not paying you for this. I am forever grateful that you are here for the sake of it. And I consider you guys, friends and my students, and just I consider you my circle of influence because you care about talking and connecting for the sake of it. There's nothing else beyond this. You're open to understanding. I want this to be a model maybe for you guys to kind of build for your own friendship and for other people that are around you and kind of find ways to connect for the sake of it. Because I really feel we're very rushed, and it's nothing to poke at. It's just what it is. It feels weird.
I think people's attention spans are just like shorter now.
Yeah, I gotta. What for? If anything, this pandemic has showed us is like Amazon can take one day to give you anything. You want to start dating? Hey, just swipe right? You want to see something funny? Hey, there's 1,000,001 things being uploaded every second to YouTube or TikTok. But this thing, whatever it is, those of you believe it or not, doesn't care about what you care about. It doesn't care how nervous or impatient you are. Remember when we all, in week 2, we're like, oh, we're all in this together, we'll get through this together. And look at us now. Like, we were so innocent back then. We didn't know how long this thing would take. And so I don't know. I think our attitudes have to shift a little bit to acclimate. Not everything is like that. Friendships, it's not like that. Relationships, building a business, not like that. It takes hard work. Let me just say real quick, I thought Selena's perm for the Tejano Music Awards was, I loved it. It's so funny. I loved how the hair from back then, I think it's amazing. I love that the Reina told her, just like you guys said, to be who you are. I love the song, the SOS band, Take Your Time to Do It Right. I love that they use that there. Let's see. Oh, I love this. What do y'all think about this? As I've been growing up, the number of dances for schools have been also been reduced, even before COVID times. Mr. Abraham tells, this is Abraham talking to the father, people come to a baile to dance. If they don't, we don't get asked to come back. And then, they take that to heart. They start singing that Jody Watley song, and everyone's confused, and then they switch it to the bamba, and then everyone starts dancing and having a good time. What do y'all think about like that the dance culture? I know when my sister was she grew up around that time. It was a golden age for Tejano. She was a teenager, and they would go out every freaking weekend, man. They had a great time. They loved life, and they celebrated in it. As teenagers, I got a little bit of that. I was not as outgoing. What do you think the going out life is like? And this one goes more to the college kids right now. Is that still a thing even before COVID times?
I mean, I don't know. I guess personally, like, I have my own interests, but I know like a majority. It's just mostly. I mean, you can go out with a group of friends and everyone will be on their phone, you know. You know, it's true, and I'm guilty of it too. You know, I'm guilty.
What about like Kayla? I know Kayla was a dancer. You were
Yeah.
what was it called, diamond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You dance, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I don't know if your parents were okay. They would go out and dance and stuff like that. But I mean, that was a culture.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like see it that much anymore. And it's kind of like I watch the movie like Footloose, you know, and like I see them all dancing, and it's really cool. It's like a great way to like. I remember the scene. Have you seen that movie?
No, but
No?
I searched the song, the Do It Right.
Because like
That
there's
movie
this
is so
scene-
cool.
Yeah, there's a scene where they're like at a gas station, like or a parking lot or somewhere, and someone just brings out this like big like boom box, and then everyone starts dancing. They don't know who like they're all strangers, but they all like connect to the music. So I really love that.
Yeah.
Isn't
like
it
we should
like
do that
illegal
more.
to dance or something?
Oh, I think so, because like someone
Yeah.
like some incident happened or something.
Some incident happened and they weren't allowed to dance.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but it's
changed
in
the
them, and they
law.
really want to.
When
Yeah.
I was growing up, I was a break dancer. That's why I'm bald now. Too many head
Oh
spins.
my god.
I'm just kidding. But we used to feel the music too, and so
Mhm.
we wouldn't even fight. We would just dance it out, and it was a way for us to connect.
Yes.
There was this beyond Tejano culture. I love culture of all sorts of sizes and shapes and different flavors. Let me mute this. Soul Train is another beautiful thing that used to exist.
Oh my god, I love Soul Train. That's like
Yeah.
it
Same
was
here.
so old school. Like
It's
is so
the
old
best.
school.
And it's just people dancing, teenagers dancing. This is one of the songs that showed up in the Tejano in the Selena song. The Selena.
My grandma said that they used to put on Soul Train and everyone in the house would just dance. Like
Yeah,
that.
and everyone wanted to be a part of Soul Train. You wanted to go out there and dance. And now everyone, I feel, is afraid of becoming a meme or something. But let's just
everyone's afraid of being cringy.
yes, and so
Yeah.
if you do that so much.
Exactly.
End up
It's
not
like I
doing-
remember being young
Hey.
and we would just put on Tejano music and my cousins and me would dance in the living room. Like sometimes we still do it and just because we're bored. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that because they're like, oh, that's weird, or like, why are you
Mhm.
doing that? Like there's no
Yeah.
reason to do that.
Dancing is the most human thing you can do. There's no reason for it. You're not making money. You're not building up your status. You're just enjoying your body. You're enjoying the music, and you're feeling the music. You're fusing hashtag Steven Universe. You're fusing with another human, and then simultaneously you're fusing with the whole crowd, right? Let me just go ahead and play. Oh, by the way, before we go further, thank you, Jimena, for showing up. Say hello to Jimena, guys. Let me put the song. Oh, look at everyone dancing.
Makes you want to sing and move with it, right?
Oh, look at everyone dancing. I don't want to put too much because then they might flag the video. So, it's amazing, and I have seen. It's weird. It's this weird stamping out of what makes humanity. Just human expression. And it's because of the fear of judgment of others, and I feel we hold back, and it takes a real special person nowadays to just be human, to just have their own thoughts and to just engage with life. And everyone's kind of, I think, always watching their step because they're concerned what the other might think of them. And I really feel it's a sad state of affairs because we rob ourselves from those experiences. Real quick, last question for Kayla regarding this. Because you kind of remind me of my sister, but a way younger version. But like, Would you, if there was a place where there's no cell phones, you just go, you have a good time, you listen to music, you dance with people, whatever. Is that a place that people like youngsters would want to go if it existed, if it was an open to it?
Yes, that sounds amazing. I would definitely go. I would make my friends go so that we can just have a good time and forget like everything, like all the stress, and be like stress free together.
Together and feel music and enjoy one another, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a challenge, and I think it's something we have to do together. And so,
Yeah.
I don't know. The reason I'm talking about Tejano culture is because I know there's a lot of things that are going on right now. I don't even want to mention them, but I'll just say Washington D.C. and Austin, things that are going on over there. A lot of bickering and hate and yada yada. And for me, it's like when I was growing up, there was always things going on over there, but I always felt secured and happy. And my culture was not always perfect. There are bad things with everything. But, there was the noches mexicanas, there were the cumbias, there was the quinceañeras, there was the food, and obviously the music. And I just felt like all of the world could be crumbling, but my hybrid culture, all shades of colors, all shades, could dance and hang out and be one together. You know what I mean? And just be patient with one another. And I love that. And I miss that a little bit. Bueno, let's go ahead and keep it going. Abraham, young lady. Okay. I like that I don't know. Let's keep going. Okay, let's go to episode 4. There was something in episode 4 that was really cool that I really liked. In episode 4, the whole family is in sync. Everyone's in the same frequency. There's a thought of the greater good. They suffer and make sacrifices together to keep the band together. But then as Abraham is bringing that big old bus, right afterwards, there's someone taking pictures of the house. They're asking, hey, is this the house? Are you the owner of the house that's selling it? And Abraham is kind of harassed by it because the landlord wants to sell his house because he needs more money. Enough. When will y'all have enough money, man? So without provocation or notification, the landlord can put the guy's house up for sale. What does that say about any renter's rights? Is that something that's fair that the landlord can do at any time? What do y'all think about that in general? It's kind of like a flimsy situation.
I think that's hard, especially, coming from the person who lives there, like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean my house is for sale? This is where my family is,
Without any advance notice or anything. Isn't that something? Just like, all right, we need more money. You're out of here. It's like, bro, you didn't call me.
Greed. There's so much greed in the world, It's just, it's toxic,
I feel it's kind of jumped a level. We need to find ways, I don't know how, to define enough. Like, enough should be a healthy place where you have enough, but you don't have to kind of like, harass this poor family. It's pretty bad. I've seen that whole thing.
I think we're like really distracted as a society. Like, so you're always seeing on your phone. Like back then, no one really was distracted as much. So they cared a lot more. But now you always see, oh, this person's rich. This person has that. This girl has the new body with the new Louis Vuitton bag, and she's modeling because she's rich. So that mainstream media gets like to people's attention. They start thinking, what can I do to be rich, rather than how am I leaving an impact on society? You know what I mean?
Contributing, but absolutely. There's this one part that really hit home to me. So okay, they're pumping gas. He even thinks about having the guys live in the bus. Oh, I love this part because I was a migrant worker and I used to go to Idaho. And then okay, so Selena says, why are we in Idaho? They're very, very cold because there's no AC or heater in this thing, the poor bus. And then the mom is like, for the migrant workers picking the apples, they want to hear music from their home. Okay. And I that just kind of, and before we didn't have YouTube or Pandora or Spotify, you kind of had to take either cassettes or CDs if it was further in or not. And it didn't matter where you were, you couldn't listen to your music. So it was nice to have the music be with you. Now what's weird is back then people would still listen to it. They'd still go to the bailes. I went to a couple of quinceañeras up north. But now, let's say you guys, before COVID, maybe 3 to 4 years before COVID, and I'll give this question either to Jimena or Diego. What so back then people were fighting to listen or finding ways to listen to music and going to concerts and, you know, really engaging with the music, Tejano specifically. As time has progressed, how much Tejano influence have you guys had in y'all's lives here in Eagle Pass? Is it a big part of the culture, or do you see it be like, it's like, because it's everywhere, we could easily access it, you know, who cares? I don't know. What do you all think about that? The influence, do kids still care about Tejano, or is this something brand new to you guys?
Almost none. For my own life, there's almost none. But I've seen other people. They're highly affected by it. It's just for me, it doesn't affect me that much. I don't even know what the Tejano music specifically is.
It's a real cool mixture of the accordion polka, and it's got a lot of influences. It's pretty neat. I think it's nice. Jimena?
I think that it's like kind of fading, but at the same time it's not, you know, because like
We got
there's like, you know, tacuaches and stuff like that. Like there's like a lot of people that really, really like it. Or like if you go to quinceañeras, you can see like, or they put like cumbias and stuff like that. You don't see the like, you know, the hip hop in there and stuff like that.
It's still primarily
still kind of, yeah, especially because we live in the border. So like, yeah, it's.
So you do see it in your.
I do see it. Yes.
I love that. And I'm telling you, Kayla and Eric, when you guys leave, this is, and especially the further you leave. I went to A&M for college for a while, for grad school. I thought I'd never cared about Tejano music personally. I remember hearing it, La Rancherita, my mom and dad, they always had it at the house. And of course, the quinceañeras were lit if they had Chicano music, right? But I remember missing it, you know, in A&M. I remember not hearing it. And I remember one time going to a dance and they had all, you know, rap, hip hop. Back in the day, reggaeton was new and they had a lot of reggaeton. And I remember feeling something really deep inside me, even though I never cared for Tejano before. And I remember hearing like a Ramon Ayala song towards the end. I don't know, I almost wanted to cry. I was like, wow, I feel a part
like
of me.
Roots?
Say what?
Like my roots?
Yeah, I feel a part of me being accessed that I didn't even know was there, that I didn't even know cared about it, you know? It was nice. And again, not to say one side is better than the other, not to be like us versus them. It's just, we are two cultures in one person, right? Let's keep on going. Hey, did anyone else look up Los Bad Boys from Laredo from that episode? I looked them up too. They had the crazy mullet.
Was it just
crazy?
Wasn't it just like two guys for a little bit?
Huh?
Wasn't it just two people for a while? It was, yeah. Like I think I saw that on the episode. It was Pete and it was just one other guy.
Yeah. And he was someone else. He was wearing the muscle shirt. He was rocking the room, man. He was going. I had to look him up. I thought that was really cool. And this one goes to any. We could pick between 2 to 3 people, perhaps, and I don't care who answers this. How good? Oh, before I go further, Diego, back to Diego and Jimena's question, specifically Jimena. I think you're also right. It's kind of weird that Tejano culture is fading, but not really. Because if you look at it, what are we discussing? We're discussing a very recent series based on Tejano culture. So there are people talking about it, you know, and this kind of goes more towards that. So my question to you is, how good does it feel to hear local towns, Laredo, Corpus, El Paso, they mentioned all these, San Antonio, and have them not be associated with high COVID counts, caravans of illegals, quote unquote, guns or violence. But instead, you hear them and you hear about the celebration of music, of culture, of composers of music itself, you know. How does that feel? How do you feel reflected in that way instead? How good does that feel? Anyone, I don't care who answers this one. Not all at once.
I think it feels really good. Like, I feel like lucky that we have that. And now, like, I don't know, I don't, because I've never like lived anywhere else. I've only lived here, so I like grew up with this stuff. So it's like a part of me, like you said, and I really love it. So
Isn't it neat? Yeah, and it's like,
yeah.
guys, it's our backyard.
Mhm.
California has a bunch of Chicanos and Hispanic people, and they have their own big tech and yada yada. But Selena, Tejano, Conjunto, it's this region, man. We're a part of it. We get to interact.
I feel like when I tell people I'm from a border town, they kind of just look at me. They're like, "Whoa, so you're from Mexico?" Like, I feel like it makes you more interesting as a person to tell people like, I grew up like this. I grew up where not everybody speaks English in kindergarten, where a lot of kids speak Spanish, and everyone's first language is usually Spanish.
Yeah.
And when people hear that, they're just like, wow, like I grew up around Italian, I grew up around Black, I grew up around like Asians, Koreans, like I grew up around all these cultures. And I was just like, that's crazy, because all I've ever known my whole life is Mexican.
Yeah.
Mexican. So
That's our normal.
Yeah, we have a couple of Puerto Ricans too.
It really opens. That's true. There's a bunch of different types of Mexicans. I mean, well, not Mexicans. A lot of different types of Hispanic, Latino, Afro-Latino cultures outside of here. Like there's Puerto Rican, there's people from Honduras, people from El Salvador, and like it just really opens your mind when you get out of here, because you're so used to having like corridos and cumbias when other people listen to like I forgot what it was called. They have like bachata and all this different stuff that they listen, like Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. Like there's a lot of I think he's Dominican. I'm sorry about that. I don't know which one he is, but there's just so many cultures out there, and I feel like being from this little knit town, you see how different you are. Yeah. See what really makes you stand out, because it's not normal just to be surrounded by a bunch of Mexicans, I guess.
Well, and that's the cool thing. And what I really enjoy from y'all's response is it's a celebration. We're acknowledging who we are. It is different. Different isn't always bad. It's different. You know, everyone has something else. And recently we've been kind of like going towards one culture as a world culture, which is okay. It is what it is. But I enjoy the different flavors, quite in the metaphorical sense and in the real sense of different cultures. When the school started, I got really into Brazilian music, and it's nice to be open to different points of views, to different flavors of music, to different flavors of food. And I just want for our minds to acknowledge the past. It was once upon a time who we were, but also like, you know, be open to other forms of culture, both from the United States and around the world. I feel it only enriches our lives. And so I'm really, really grateful to have had this conversation with you guys. I'm going to wrap it up because we're going to go on to third period in a few minutes. Guys, if you have, we did this last time, and if you can, in 10 seconds or less, and I didn't put it in the email, but in 10 seconds or less, share something in this world that's kind of hectic and crazy. Share something that you've been doing, or that you heard, or that just makes you feel good when you hear it. And I'll go first, or when you do it, or which, you know, etc. Let me see. Okay, I'll go first. Okay, two things. One, I enjoy this. I'm trying to limit myself to 10 seconds. I really enjoy connecting with my old students, and for me, I really care about y'all and my current students, and I want to create an environment where y'all feel connected and not separate. And I want y'all to know that we love y'all, and I'm very, very grateful that y'all made the time to show up. The other thing is, I'm really grateful after work every day. I take my kids on a little scooter ride at the Plaza de San Juan, and the days have been really nice, and I really enjoyed that. Anyway, anyone else who wants to go? Share something positive-ish.
Well, I've been really enjoying, you know, I appreciate life a lot more now because we're not able to go out like we used to. Like I enjoy, you know, going outside, you know, even if you're just outside breathing for a bit, you know, we're taking in the fresh air, or, you know, it's even fun when I go out now with, you know, I'm going to the store, you know, and I start talking to someone, you know, because you didn't appreciate that before, you know, it was something so normal. And well, the other thing, you know, music, like we were talking about, I really enjoy singing and playing the piano. So those are the two things that I really enjoy doing.
I love that. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can add to that. I enjoy being outdoors a lot, like in nature, because it's like when you go outside and you're just in the nature, no like phones or anything, you just feel more like how I was back then, I guess, like more connected to reality, and not to how like messed up it is now.
A digital haunted house, man. You're just facing a digital thing that's just force feeding you images to make you feel a certain way. And it's like when you're not looking at that, and you're like, wow, you hear the birds chirping and you feel the wind against your face, and
it helps to like for you to remember like who you are, and just I don't know, it's peaceful. I also like just being with my family now, like even more, and trying new things. Like we recently started like doing some yoga, and it feels good. Yeah, I'm getting into that.
I love that.
So that's me.
I'm so happy. Next.
I definitely love car rides. I am one to really drive around by myself and blast Caesar as hard as I can. I love just to be in my own thoughts for a little bit after a rough day at work or just like piled up with schoolwork. It's like a good way just to escape. And like I didn't notice how beautiful Eagle Pass was till I started just cruising around by myself, looking at everything, and it really calms me down after a hard day. And the second thing I would say that really like I love to do, I talk to my friends like crazy. Like me and my friends, we basically live together. I love just kind of talking about the randomest things, like what if this would happen, or like we would create scenarios and we just talk about how like life's crazy, and like just generally being with people while not being with people just feels so good sometimes.
Yeah, feel accepted. That's a beautiful feeling. Diego, Frankie, or Jimena?
Well, I'll go. I like the Google Meets we do in the morning. The dream team. It's like a good. I don't know. We get to interact and I don't know. Just listen to other people acknowledge you. I don't know.
Yes,
I
make them say their names. So instead of showing up to the class and then it's me just going, I make them do a salutations like your parents used to. Andale, mijo, salúdense, salúdense, and they acknowledge each other by name, and it's something I'm trying out. Every little step counts, guys. It's you have no idea. I'm glad you like that, Frankie. Jimena? Your audio sounds like chipmunk. Type it up while Diego writes. Her microphone's been off a little bit. Oh, there it is. That's better.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't hear Alvin and the Chipmunks anymore.
Yeah.
Talking about being outside, like I didn't really realize like the trees or like the plants outside.
Yeah. Absolutely. The blossoms and everything.
Yes.
The texture, the leaves. Pay more attention to it, no? It's crazy. It's good. It's sometimes like, I think that this whole thing has kind of forced us to go slower. And even though our minds are wanting to go fast, when we stop and just sit down and see how slow nature is, it's not in a rush. It ain't going anywhere. It'll be here way thousands of years, if not millions of years after we're gone. It's nice to be a part of that and to acknowledge that. Diego?
We've been trying a lot of new things recently. Look, I even started to learn how to drive.
Nice.
I feel like it started earlier. Also, I've been watching this 24-hour supercut of all the Marvel movies, where every scene is a chronological order, and like it's 181 gigabytes.
Wow.
So I've just been getting through that for the last few days.
Oh, that sounds amazing. My wife and I just got into WandaVision, and we're thinking about like, okay, there's a lot we don't know. So it's like, how do we get into the Marvel universe? Because it's not in order, like you say. Like there is a specific way of doing it, and I don't know what that way is, but
there is a section that it says in timeline order. You should watch that.
Yeah, on YouTube.
No, on Disney.
On Disney.
Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
I have it open right now. Let's see.
You want to?
It's not that hard to see. Yeah, it says right here. So Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1, and then 2, and then 3 and 4.
Got
Okay.
them in order for
And then
you.
there's the Marvel Cinematic Universe in timeline order.
Okay, I'm gonna find that. I'll find it.
It's not that hard. There's a Marvel section on Disney Plus.
I'm gonna check it out. It's on the Marvel section of Disney Plus. Okay.
Yeah, just scroll down. It should be there.
Okay.
Also, I was gonna suggest we should watch WandaVision here, but yeah.
It's been pretty cool. At first, I didn't understand, but then as the episodes have been going, it's like, wait a minute.
I totally forgot that Vision had died.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I totally forgot about. I was like, wait a second, how is he here? And then I was like, okay, so it's like an illusion. Like,
Yeah. It's how I think she handles sadness and pain and suffering.
it's like an alternate reality.
It's pretty. What I've seen so far, it looks pretty good. It's pretty good.
An episode came out today.
Say what?
An episode came out today. It comes out every Friday.
I think they keep on showing them.
Oh,
Hey guys, I just few closing remarks on my behalf. I just want to thank you again for showing up. Thank you for taking the time. If you know, especially the alumni, anyone else who might want to be a part of this, share the link with them so that they could sign up for it. If you yourselves want to be a part of it as well later, just sign up again and let me know. Let's continue the conversation, not just with ourselves, but with each other. Give each other a chance. Be open to understanding, and let's not lose hope. Let's keep working to keep the community going together and to cheer each other on, because these are a little bit of different, interesting, difficult times, but we can get through it, right?
Yes.
Right. I'll go ahead and let y'all go. God bless all of y'all. Stay safe, be cautious, and I love y'all. Okay, we'll see y'all on the next one.
thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Santos. Have a good day.
Thank you. You
See
guys.
ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, sir.
Well, we'll see it in a little bit. Como quiera. All
Oh,
right,
yeah, that's true.
for the
I
third period.
liked it, sir. Me gustó lo que...
I want to ask you. Bueno, pues let's go porque ya va a empezar.
Oh, yeah.
Sí.
Yeah.
Login, I want to ask you, okay?
Okay.